What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the build vlog. Today is the day that we're going to clear coat this baby. We do have some stuff to do before we can do that. This blaster needs a nice clean and get all the dust and stuff off of it. So we'll use like a microfiber towel and maybe a tack cloth to get that ready to go. It is very important to do that. Make sure your blaster is clean before all the layers as much as possible. Very happy with how this turned out. Much happier than I was with the previous paint job, just color-wise anyways. The other paint job actually probably turned out slightly better in some ways, but this is definitely acceptable and just excited to finally get this thing done. Let's hope that we can do that before the end of the month here. But flywheel cage is looking good. We got the motors in, but I need to go ahead and wire this up. Maybe I can take care of that before we clear coat today, because right now it is 46 degrees and it needs to be much warmer than that to clear coat. And I think today is the only day I can do it, and it's supposed to get up to 65. So hopefully that'll be good enough. And I just hope it's not too windy when it gets to 65 degrees, because it's not windy out right now, but it's way too cold. So this is Indiana for you. And hopefully we can get this done. And then we can start doing the internals, and we'll see how that goes, because there's definitely some things that, you know, I've never used LEDs like this before. This is my plan. We got some awesome LEDs, and they will light up the inside of here. They're going to light up this on both sides, and that'll be pretty cool. We also are going to connect it through Bluetooth to my phone so I can make it do lots of cool stuff. So that'll be pretty sweet. I went ahead and snipped off the end of this already right here. So now we can just wire that up to our switch and to our battery. And we will also be using a buck converter to step down the voltage from our LiPo to this. That is my plan. Just excited to get this thing finished. So let's get to it. All right, you guys, so this clear coat turned out immaculate. I think it's one of my best that I've ever done. Very happy with it. Still working on things though. There's still some things I want to perfect, but all in all, I'm very happy with this paint job. You know, honestly, I feel like to get a better job than this, I just need a better painting situation, but it's hard to justify that. But nevertheless, I'm very happy with how this turned out. It looks really, really good. And I cannot wait to get these internals in. We need to get the windows on, and we just need to get this thing complete. Let's try to knock this baby out. Okay, you guys, so I'm actually going to use a material called, or a product called Bondic that will allow me to secure this polycarbonate plate in place. And it's pretty cool because it's kind of like super glue, but it's only hardens when you use a UV light. So you can put it down in a very controlled fashion, like a super glue gel, and then you use the LED light or the UV LED light to harden it, and it should be locked in for good. This is the first time me using this on a Nerf project. I've used it on other things and it seems to work pretty well. And I think this is a really good place to be using this because it's a very small area. I would not use a liquid super glue in here because that's going to be messy and cause issues. But this I think will even be better than a gel super glue. So I was planning on using a gel super glue, but then I was like, you know what, I have this, I've had it forever, and I kind of forget about it sometimes. So let's go ahead and see how this works. All right, you guys, so the blaster is wired up and seems to be functioning great so far. The LEDs are working. I'll show you that here in a second. Plug this in. So we're good there. We got the voltmeter working. Hopefully you can see that. I don't know. Seems to be working just fine. And then LEDs. Boom. That is awesome. And I can control the different patterns and colors on my phone through an app, which is perfect. They have some of these that you can control with a remote like this, but I didn't want to have to deal with a remote. I didn't want to have to add any switches besides an on-off switch to the blaster, because I feel like that it's just going to detract from the overall look of the blaster, and I feel like using an app is pretty cool. That's definitely a first for me, so I'm hoping we can install these with this silicone channel right here, and I've already started to kind of modify it a little bit to get around the screw bosses and to fit in there. It's just going to be challenging probably to get the blaster together. It should be just about the perfect width, I think, from what I measured. And it does have a little give because it's rubber. So hopefully this will work. Now getting it to stay in place is going to be another challenge, and then getting everything to fit in there with the wires and everything. That's why I wired it up first, and then we'll probably stick it in here and then try to orient it in place. So I need to figure this out. I think I need to cut off a little bit there at the end, but that's going to be pretty cool. Okay, so work has been done. We have that in place, and it's kind of interesting because the hot glue does not stick to this. So I kind of had to create a mold with hot glue for this to kind of lock into. And that seemed to work pretty well. I'm fairly confident we can get the shell together, although it is not easy to do. So hopefully I don't have to do it more than once. But we'll cross that bridge when we're ready to do it. I also got these locked into place, and I ended up using super glue for that with, well, not normal super glue, gel, which is way easier to control. Had a little trouble getting my Bondic to actually completely harden. I don't know if that's because it's old or possibly because the polycarbonate is, I believe most polycarbonate is UV resistant, so you can't actually get the UV light to harden it on the other side. Maybe, I'm not positive, but I ordered some more, so hopefully we're going to try that for these and secure them. They're sort of in place, but I feel like they need to be a little more secure. It works out okay on these because they're frosted over, but I tried it on this. Well, this isn't the one. This was a scrap piece. I tried it on this one, and as you can see, when you super glue, it turns it white. So it doesn't work out very well when you need something completely transparent and you don't have a lot of glue surface. So that's why I don't recommend super glue. So if that doesn't work, then I'll probably have to use hot glue. But hot glue is just bulky, and you just have to use a lot of it to get it to work, and that just doesn't look great either. So hopefully the Bondic works. But the super glue that I use there seemed to work pretty well right here. So hopefully that's going to look all right. I think it will. It dries white in clear white, so when you frost it over, obviously it's a very similar look, and you hopefully can't see too much of that. But nevertheless, I think we're in good shape. We just need to hot glue this into place more or less, just to kind of tack it in. It'll kind of be floating there somewhat. I had to do a few little shell modifications to the other side, and we also went ahead and locked in and shaped everything, the windows on the other side also, so that's done. So we're really, really close. I'm getting excited. We just need to throw in some internals. Let's go ahead and do that because I haven't shown you guys this. So I did not forget about the teal parts, or the teal part with the crossbow. The original crossbow had a teal priming handle, and so I figured, why not? We'll make the rev trigger and mag release teal to kind of simulate that. So I think that looks pretty good. Obviously, you'll see it better when we turn it around and put this thing together, but that is going to be a pretty sweet little touch in my opinion, and we should be good to go. And then I also went ahead and modified the pusher slightly. I extended it a little bit because when I was testing it out in the other blaster, I noticed that every now and then the dart didn't quite want to catch the flywheels. So I don't know if that has to do with this modification or what, but I just don't want that to happen. So just for reliability, I mean, I think extending it just a touch should help. And we definitely need to lubricate this before we lock it in, because we don't want any friction possibly taking off the Cerakote or anything like that if we can help it. So you can go ahead and throw some slug slime down on that and lock this in place. All right, you guys, this thing is ready to go together. And that probably will take a little doing, but with patience, we should be able to get it done. But got my new Bondic in, and this worked well. Highly recommend that, and definitely prefer it over anything like super glue or hot glue, usually too. It's obviously depending on your situation, but it is really good to lock in polycarbonate sheet like that, because it's not going to do weird stuff chemically to it, turn it white like the super glue, and the super glue is just really messy. Hot glue is really bulky and is messy also in a way. So this is very controllable, and you have a lot of time to get your piece into place. If you get some in a place that you don't want it, you can get it off real easy as long as you don't harden it first. So yeah, this is pretty cool. I'll put a link to it in the description. You can get it on Amazon. So if you use that affiliate link, that helps out the channel greatly. And any other thing that you buy from Amazon is also affiliate link, and I have tons of them for this project. I put pretty much everything that I bought off of Amazon down in there. So if you're interested in getting into the hobby, or if you want to use some of the things that I used, definitely check out the description, because there's tons of links down there, and anything you purchase from there doesn't cost you any more, but does help out the channel, so I would greatly appreciate it. Let's put this thing together. All right, you guys, we are together. That took some work. I'm not gonna lie. There's always a little troubleshooting when you're putting a blaster together for the first time after paint, especially with LEDs like that in there. A few spots that were sticking that I wasn't sure why. Actually, the stock wasn't even the main issue. That one I kind of had figured out, but had some issues up here, but I figured them out, no worries. But yeah, we're looking pretty darn good. Definitely need to clean this thing up again, because it has some fingerprints on it. This high gloss clear coat definitely shows fingerprints, but this thing is looking pretty darn sharp. Pretty happy with it. Just really excited that it's finally done. It turned out really well. We'll turn the LEDs on. There we go. And I'm gonna have to figure out how to show you guys the LEDs change colors and everything, because I videotape with the phone that's connected to, so, or record. Videotape. You know how old I am since I say videotape. But nevertheless, this thing looks awesome. Super happy with how it turned out. I mean, it is just killer. So, hope you guys enjoyed this vlog series. We will have one more episode with this thing firing and all that, really showing it off. But thank you guys so much who have followed along with this series. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's a lot of work recording the work you do for a project like this, because there's just so much that goes into it. So many hours. I have no idea how many hours this took me. A lot. I worked on it pretty much every single day from the beginning of the competition till now, which is, you know, a few days before we have to submit. And yeah, I think it turned out as well as I could have hoped. I mean, there are definitely some things that I changed throughout the way, throughout the process in terms of, my plan of attack. I didn't mention this, but I did elect to not put the stickers on. I have two different versions of stickers, but I just felt like this was gonna take away, a little bit from the gorgeous paint job, and just detract from all the custom work I did in terms of the LEDs, the Cerakoted parts, and then we got this sticker on here. Stickers are cool. Definitely, I think it's cool on the original Crossbow, but I don't think it's necessary to get my point across, which is just pay tribute to the original Crossbow, pay homage to it. And, that was the whole reasoning with the logo, but I think it's going to look better without it. So hopefully you agree. I think it turned out great. And I think I definitely captured the original Crossbow with this integration as best as possible. Let me know if you agree. I'm glad to hear it. And one other thing that I will be revealing in the next video is the name and the other theme of this blaster. It actually kind of has two themes, so we will go into detail about all that in the next one. But if you follow along with the competition, that video probably will come out afterwards. This one might even too, depending on how long it takes me to edit and everything. Hopefully I can get this one out before the competition, but the firing and all that will be coming in the next one. So definitely make sure you're subscribed. Smash that like button if you enjoyed the video. Ring the bell for notifications so you're alerted to when I post a video, because YouTube definitely does not want to share my videos lately. I don't even think my subscribers are seeing them right now, but thank you guys so much. Peace out.